reach top 8 once. That was in week 1. Ever since then, they have been dropping out in the group stage, and they now come in against one team that, especially after the loss for Space Station Gaming, might consider themselves the hot hand, as that is a great play to keep the ball out.
Yeah, I really expected that to just be the immediate 1-0. It looked unsavable, but great scramble by Gimmick to defend the net. Are they going to get that as well? Yes, they will. Torment deflects Chicago's shot wide, but already G2 are setting up shop on the midfield line and attacking non-stop. It's all about just trying to hang on for Version1. They need to settle into this series, need to try and get with G2's pace, try and control them as much as possible.
Yeah, I feel like if you ever want to figure out just how good the rhythm is for G2, you just watch Rizzo's rotation, because he's the one that typically has to adapt to what's going on around him. So the other two will try and keep the offensive flow going, but when the offensive flow is very good for them, he doesn't have to worry about it too much. It very much just keeps swinging it around in circles, keep hitting the ball into the other side of the field. There's a few demos already moving through. Rizzo downfield. Couldn't find any extra boost. Instead, Chicago's now under a bit of pressure. Torment just not there quick enough. He's still on the backboard, sets it up.
Whoa.
And Gimmick comes in late, and it's the softest shot I think he could have taken.
Yeah, no killer instinct on that play, but it's definitely a creative setup. G2 did not see that one coming. Now XP's taking out Chicago, and Version1 will continue to attack here. Torment denied by Rizzo, who's floated in a very useful position there to block a lot of shots that could have been coming his way. G2 don't have a lot of boost to play with. The counterattacks are being slowed down before they can even get started. Big back wall clear by Rizzo should buy them enough time to get back into a full rotation. Now here comes G2. It's a free aerial for Rizzo. Decides to go for the backboard. I'm not sure if he read that one properly, but JNaps will, and he will put G2 1 goal ahead just before halftime.
Well, you got to say, if Version1 are so determined to leave players on the ground, then you might as well make use of the backboard. Nobody around for either of those two backboard hits. And G2 have got themselves their first goal.
And we're looking out for any Rizzo goals today. I believe I saw him tweet out that he's used to seeing nice pass Rizzo and nice demo Rizzo, never nice shot Rizzo. So everybody be on your, looking out for any Rizzo goals, and then remember to clip it, send it to him on Twitter, and give him a nice shot. You know, he's feeling really down recently about the lack of compliments coming his way with his shooting ability.
That we get a very annoyed follow-up tweet of him just taking a shot of his inbox and just going, well, this is just not very good, lads.
Yeah, you already know that Twitch chat is going to explode with a nice shot Rizzo if he hits even the worst shot imaginable, the worst goal of the day. Still going to be nice shot Rizzo, I can guarantee.
This might be his opportunity, and it's a great save from XB, who might very well now be the enemy of the people.
Oh, I was so ready to witness all of the Twitch chat spam in unison, but Rizzo has been denied, and Version1 have had some really impressive saves this game. I think there's been 3 that looked pretty unstoppable. 3 shots from G2 that have all been kept out somehow, some way. Now they've got a chance to put one in, but it's off the bar, and will they get one past him? No, Rizzo with a nice save. Still no nice shot though, unfortunately for him.
No, maybe some point in the future. We're going to get to a point where he just gets upset of it. We're going to get the last Vitality game of last season, where he is so determined to not let anyone else score except for himself, as Chicago looks for the top corner. He starts instantly throwing the ball all over the place as he does get the 1-2 back. Fortunately, he is shut down. 1 minute and 10 now left on the clock. Far side shot, double save. And it still is just finally cleared. It's over the top of Rizzo. Oh, no. And unfortunately, he is going to get Chicago back. Oh, dearie me. Well, that wouldn't have been a nice touch, Rizzo.
That would have been a nice save, Rizzo, for sure. If he let that one go in, but he was saved by his teammate. G2 are overall looking like the more threatening team, but this is far from the confident and consistent performance I expected. There's a good save from Rizzo.
He's done it twice.
A couple of floaters just coming in his way. V1 are threatening Shogun. This is more than expected from them, to be honest. They've really brought it to G2 in this game.
Rizzo needs to use his ability to predict the future like he can in defense to transition the ball to the other side and get himself a goal then, I reckon. As I do believe he's now just been removed from the field. Can't catch a break, unfortunately. Here comes Rizzo. Shot should be saved by Gimmick. Follow-up is coming in from JNabs as Rizzo was considering the demo. Instead, they're just going to keep outpacing the other team, get rid of all of the defenders, and score off the open net.
And it's JNabs once again. He stuck around. Rizzo left to grab boost at midfield. JNabs, he thought, hold on a second, there might be more happening here than meets the eye. And he's right, it's the goal scorer historically for G2. Once again, putting up a fantastic brace. Chicago with both the assists, and all around an impressive performance from G2. But they really had to work for this one. Great saves from V1. Their goal line defense was phenomenal. They'll be sad that they haven't put one on target. They haven't put one into the back of the net, though. At least, well, not yet. Maybe they'll still manage to do so. Chicago doesn't have a lot of boost, but he does have enough to get the save and send G2 into Game 2 with the clean sheet after the Game 1.
Yeah, for version 1, my question has always been, especially when Torment and Gimmick were teaming up with Squishy, just how desynchronized that rotation seemed to look last season. This time around, definitely a lot better. I don't think there was a single time I saw someone going for a ball that they shouldn't, but there also wasn't that gaping hole in the rotation where you're looking at it just going, how is nobody here right now? They were able to keep up, but they need that big shot, and you get the feeling that that earlier play for Gimmick needed to be that big shot.
Oh, 100%. Well, if we look at just the Game 1 of this series, G2 versus V1, and then we look at the Game 1 between Space Station and Kansas City Pioneers, I would say Version 1 and G2 played a much better game than either Space Station or KCP did. But it's, you know, the business end of the series that really matters. Are G2 going to be able to keep this pressure up? Are V1 going to be able to keep pulling out goal line saves, or will they get blown out in the next game? Are they going to be able to keep this close and respectable? I don't think I'm too worried about Version 1 not making it through this stage of the tournament. Even if they do get swept here, G2 are just playing that well right now, I think. They've really found their form again. I think they're right back to their best, and possibly even the favourites for this tournament ahead of SSG, who have looked shaky, not just today, but also in the middle of the week during the grid.
Have they refound their form, or did they just refine the keys to the gaming house?
They found the plug next to the AC unit, probably.
Do you think Jarzo turns off the internet at a certain time?
It wouldn't matter. These boys, they've all got backup modems, and if Jarzo runs off with the internet, tells them all to go to bed, they just wait until he falls asleep and come back out again. They're unleashable. You can't control this G2 team.
You can get rid of all of that. They've all got backup Game Boys.
The ones with the wee lights on them, yeah.
Yes.
Those were the days where you needed a little light lamp that attached onto your Game Boy, so you couldn't actually see the screen without it. Twitch chat probably doesn't remember that for the most part.
No, I used to not think 25 was all that old, but I'm starting to think 25 is actually quite old. Either way.
Here's me feeling really, really bad about almost being 30 now, Shogun.
Well, either way, we'll get over it eventually, but can V1 get over what was a difficult first game? As AXB can't quite get anything more for that. Chicago to JNabs. He's going to keep this one going, is he? Almost gets it for the double tap off the backboard. Quick update for you all as well, that if you haven't got enough Rocket League in your life right now, and quite frankly, I don't think there is such a thing as too much Rocket League in your life, you can go over to twitch.tv/eLeagueTV and catch up with Rogue against Zookeepers in what is right now, Johnny, a little bit of a difficult one for Rogue. 1-1 in that series.
You know, that's not going to be surprising to many people. Rogue have struggled recently to put up consistent results against most of the teams that they should be beating quite easily. And, you know, no disrespect to Zookeepers, but Rogue should be beating them quite easily. That's Johnny, exactly the kind of team that you should be beating, but they don't really do that. Rogue don't do what they're supposed to. They don't do what it says in the Rogue tin.
Well, a little bit of an update as well on other results, and we'll see if any of these ones do surprise you. In the upper bracket, Peeps did take down Continuum, which is very much expected. That was in a 3-2. In fact, every single result I'm about to say to you is a 3-2. Xset in the lower matches managed to take down their opponents, along with Plot Twist. United able to take down their opponents as well, but Charlotte Phoenix dropping 2-3 up against 8-Bit.
Oh, wow.
So they are now 0-2 on the day, and have got to win 3 matches in a row.
Oh!
And there is the perfect time to score for Torment. Version1 up by 1.
Brilliant passing play. AXB has actually landed in the perfect position to bump JNAPS into the goal after passing off the back wall as well. So great setup by AXB. Torment passed to him. He passes back, takes out the goalkeeper. Really an all-around brilliant play from V1. G2 have been pretty quiet up until now, but oh, Rizzo's got a chance. It's not a nice enough shot, though. It's saved by Gimmick. Once more, Rizzo forever denied.
Anyone else, Gimmick's not saving that one, but because it's Rizzo, he's going to get there. Torment's got his second. Oh, dearie me. A heart-ripping shot. And XB just drops it for Torment. My goodness, G2, wow. That has got to hurt.
That's the second time this game that AXB has centered the ball and then just driven repeatedly into the goalkeeper to deny them any follow-up on the play. Muscle of the team really showing up here now. That's a good bump from behind as well onto JNAPS. G2 are struggling to create realistic chances. You know, they probably want to help Rizzo in his quest to score a nice shot, but at some point, do they just send JNAPS up as the target man as usual? He seems to have more success in the final third than anybody else.
Oh, here comes Chicago. That is a great shot, but just drops straight down. Here's JNAPS off the backboard. Gimmick already up there and waiting. This has been a great defensive performance from Gimmick so far. And not necessarily a sentence that we've heard all that often over the last few years. So Gimmick doing a great job in making strides to the other side of his game.
Definitely. You know, Gimmick for the longest time was you know, kind of known as the best attacking player in the game and Champ 2 defense, but he's nowhere near you know, the same kind of vulnerable player with his saves and his overhead clears that he used to be. He's really, like you said, stepped up significantly, and he's, I think, one of the most well-rounded versions of Gimmick that we've ever seen, if not the most, these days. It's making G2's life extremely difficult. The whole team of V1, they're looking extremely well-rounded now. You know, they lost game 1, 2-0, but it wasn't a bad performance at all. I think they played pretty well. I think they could be very proud that they're going as even overall with the G2 team. And like I said earlier, I think they've just peaked again, or they may have done, at least. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of this weekend goes. That was close, and it's going to be a follow-up for Gimmick, saved by JNAPS, and a double save, actually.
Are we having a different day here today?
Him in.
Gimmick's now turned into the defensive backbone of V1, and Torment scoring all the goals.
Maybe they just swapped names for the day and didn't tell anybody. They're both the imposters in this one.
I don't know. We're going to have to switch on to Torment's POV. If he starts spinning, then we'll know.
True. Actually, I have seen plenty.
Every Gimmick aerial must have 20 spins.
Yeah, I have seen many aerials from Gimmick, so I think it is still probably him. He's just really solidified his play. Almost no mistakes from Version1 here. That was very impressive. G2 probably expected to get a couple of chances to score. Well, they did have that one, obviously, with Rizzo almost presented with an open net, but unfortunately for him, the defense from Version1, the goalkeeping is next level at the moment. They're waiting till the ball is halfway in and then still getting the saves on it.
That's a very old school Cloud9 way of thinking of it as well, because they were a team that gave up a lot of shots, but always managed to try and somehow scramble the ball out of their own net. So looking the same here, as they would like to also try and replicate some of those old Cloud9 results now for a brand new org. Version1 picking them up during the off-season. Here we go, game number 3, and a big opportunity right now on a day that has, well, already led to one of the biggest upsets we're going to get this season. Maybe V1 can add themselves to that list, as JNAPS very risky with his pass, and he's got his team stuck on defense. Gimmick already up, and that is a monster save from Chicago.
Yeah, huge plays from G2, staying goal side as the ball bounced across in a dangerous position. You know, I might even go as far as say that if V1 can beat G2 here, that would be a bigger upset than Space Station losing, although Space Station have been so dominant this season. That's another goal, actually. Gimmick's just scoring, and nobody's there to stop him. Torment with another brilliant assist. The OG duo linking up once again. Look at AXB in the back wall. It's a full team play.
This is night and day difference compared to what we were getting 6 months ago from Gimmick and Torment. The rotation is clean, they know where each other are, and they are trusting their third man to go forward and wreck house. XP wants to get another tap, almost managed to drop it for Gimmick, who I think if he knew any more about it, would have actually stuck around. Instead, he was already on his way back on the rotation. But yeah, I have to agree with you here, Johnny. Like, even if this one ends up being a drop series, this is vastly improved from V1.
Oh yeah, very, very impressive stuff. It's also noteworthy that all their goals so far have involved AXB bumping somebody, 100% of them. Oh, except this one. This one's just a very cheeky rebound. And, you know, he was just in the position, the perfect place to be as the ball bounced into the middle. Brilliant reaction, beats JNAPS to the punch. V1 are ahead by 2 for the second game in a row.
All they got to do right now is literally put AXB in the final third and just leave him there. Because apparently it keeps working every time. And just landing on that one, Rizzo is going to try and play this one as quickly as he can, but he just couldn't figure out between air dribble or pass to JNAPS. Ends up doing pretty much neither of them. What a big result this would be. What a crazy Saturday it would be to start us off for the North American second regional loss.
Oh!
Huge save. Torment on the other side of the field, just as strong, but not strong enough to keep out a second shot.
Yeah, great save initially by Torment. A bit unfortunate the ball's clipped off the post and gone straight towards Chicago. But Torment really wasn't too far away from getting the double save as well, which would have been impressive. It would have also fit the script extremely well. That's been the name of the game for V1 in defense. Goal line saves non-stop. And now G2 have finally broken that goal to route that they had between the last game and this one. Let's see if they can get another.
I've got Chicago on the ball. Rizzo, a midfield option, and he can't beat Torment to it. There's another great midfield challenge. XB will easily win that one. I've even got it over to Gimmick. Torment all the way back. He's going to buy some time for his team, realizing both of them were pretty committed, and he's bought all the time that they needed and more. Torment having a great series. Rizzo with the tap down, and JNAP shoots. That's the crossbar.
Wow.
In comes Chicago.
Oh.
Kicked out by Gimmick. If there was anywhere he needed that shot, it was right where it ended up being placed.
This is just crazy. The consistency of the goal line saves, the volume of last second stops that V1 are getting just continues to, it increases almost. Now Gimmick with a crazy pre-jump to get in the way of G2's equalizer. Rizzo's waiting in the middle. JNAPS is not going to be able to send the ball his direction. Ran out of boost, it seems. Where did this version 1 come from? They might have to rename to version 2 or something. They're that different from their former selves. So it's just going to continue. AXB's got a free shot. He can't reach it though. No boost to get the open net finish. What a pass from Torment that was. Just any boost in it would have surely been a goal.
Gimmick watches now as Torment continues to be the follow-up for his team. Does not feel like Gimmick is, Torment is starting many of these, but he's been so quick on the uptake, and that is another massive whiff. G2 scrambling to get the ball back under possession. Torment would like to clatter into Rizzo. He's not going to get it. Chicago with a shot. XB can't get to it. Neither can his teammate. We're all tied up.
And it's a nice pass to Rizzo. And followed up by a nice bump attempt as well. AXB was in a panic. Chicago gets his second goal of the game. G2 are back in it. But this is such a tense series, such a close game. Really, you want to right there with them. None of these goals have been, easy for G2 to score. But they are still the team who are trending upwards here. They're on the rise after getting 2 in a row.
There's a booming clear as well. Rizzo's going to take his time to try and catch it on the half volley. Didn't do well enough with it. XB, I think, was he aiming for the player? There was no way he was aiming for the ball. It was far too weird of a trajectory.
I wouldn't be surprised, based on what we've seen from him today, if he was going for the player. It's a good save from Torment. Now Gimmick will get a chance to dribble the ball down the line. He's passed one. JNAPS denies him the second. Gimmick is, of course, stealing the boost. He's decided to be as annoying as possible. That is traditionally Gimmick's play in all positions. G2 have begun to pass a lot more in the midfield, and I think it's helping them clear the ball compared to earlier on, where they were getting dunked on a lot. And maybe playing the hard clear game against a team against V1, this isn't the way to do it these days. Now Rizzo to Chicago, great interception with the ball chased from Gimmick. JNAPS has missed. Torment with a big dunk on the left-hand side. This might be a late opportunity for V1, but never mind. Rizzo with a monster clear.
And Gimmick couldn't find Genhouse on the demo. Key interception from AXB. Rizzo over the top. Can it be? Nice shot, Rizzo.
Not nice enough.
Not right now. Oh, dearie me. Torment. He's not made that one look overly convincing. His team's still stuck on defense. Rizzo moves in. Rizzo is blocked. This is going to have to go to game 5, isn't it? And Rizzo's going to score in overtime. That is the only way this can possibly be settled, as it is now going to trickle. AXB, they're quick enough. They want to get this one to hit the floor so we can head over to overtime.
I'm already predicting that if Rizzo does score it doesn't matter what goal it is, it's going to be the most hype moment of the day. The tension.
As long as Rizzo touches it, and then we see all 3 players on V1 touch it to put the ball in for an own goal, I don't care. It's still Rizzo scoring the greatest goal in Rocket League history.
If it's an own goal, that would be even better. Just the worse the goal, the more hype it's going to be. JNAPS is going for a banger here, and it's another goal line save from V1.
Quick reminder that this is for 2 match points. Off the backboard, AXB can't recover it.
Oh!
It's off the crossbar, Torment to take them! And they have got it! 2 match points for version 1.
I can't believe they've actually done this. 2 games in a row against G2. Double match point. They're in an even better position than Kansas City Pioneers were against Space Station. And this is a consistent performance, start to finish. V1 haven't relied on mistakes from their opponents at all. They are just outplaying G2 at their own game. And this is completely surprising. I never in a million years would have expected this one. You know, if we're given 14% for Kansas City Pioneers to beat Space Station, I think you only give V1 7 to beat G2 before this series. They've got a brilliant opportunity now, and it's AXB's awkwardness in offense that's, I think, made it possible to surprise G2 over and over.
Yeah, he is. Well, you've nailed it, really. Awkward. He's always there. He's so trusting of Gimmick and Torment, and they've been rewarded with it so far. And a lot of it also comes from the fact that Gimmick and Torment, they're not losing midfield battles. They're getting over there, they're hitting the decent challenges, and every time they do that, it gives AXB that time to turn back around if he needs to. So they've never been caught just yet in a 2v1 or a 3v2. Instead, version 1 always able to keep the momentum on their side as we do get ourselves in to game number 4. Can G2 prevent themselves from joining the upset pile? They've got to win twice to do it.
Well, can you imagine, you know, Space Station and G2 both in the middle of the table, potentially having to play against each other, forcing one of them to end up on 2 losses on the day. That's where the pressure is going to be at an all-time high for these teams. I could absolutely see it happening now. AXB is playing like Gimmick 2.0. He's being so annoying. And of course, he would have to be in the Dominus for this to be possible. It's such a hard card to read. Now Gimmick's just snuck in. That's on target, but well saved from Rizzo. Yeah, with Gimmick and AXB leading this offense, you do have such a hard time predicting what on earth version 1 are going to be doing next.
Certainly so. They could be looking for this very first goal as well. Rogue up 2-1 as well in our B-Stream matchup, as it's already Gimmick up. Double tap makes it awkward, and Chicago hooks himself in just at the perfect time. Gimmick ends up chasing it back. And I actually do stand corrected. It's 2-2 now, actually. So a win here for G2 would mean all 8 of our matchups went to game 5.
That's crazy.
If I'm the lads over at Champions Field, I'm increasing rent. Like, clearly...
True.
Clearly, you need a little bit less of the demand.
Maybe they've just had a capacity improvement, inviting everybody over in round 2. Torment on the dribble. Denied by JNAPS. AXB's had to fly onto his backboard. Look at that catch, though. Really well done. You know, making a difficult maneuver look easy there.
JNAPS hasn't got the boost to follow this. The opponents don't know about that, though. And down here it is for Rizzo, and he's not allowed one. At this point, it feels like destiny.
It's going to happen, Sugar. Don't worry. Rizzo will score at some point, and I can promise you when it happens, it will be a nice shot. Guaranteed.
All right, I will judge what sort of quality of the shot it is. when we get to that moment. But right now, G2 would like that moment to be sooner rather than later. JNaps tries to force the challenge. Torment, well, he didn't really get much of a say if there was going to be a challenge, and that being used just to pinch the ball to the corner. It's another good challenge from Chicago. Right now, V1 struggling to get rid, and then they finally do, and G2 let it happen, more or less. That ball is just flinging all over the place. Rizzo doesn't make good contact. Ends up just popping the ball. He is an option, actually, for the passing play. Instead, JNaps takes over, looks for the backboard, and Torment ready and waiting.
Version1 still playing such a consistent defensive game. That was more off the ball bumping from AXB leading up to that attack. Here comes Rizzo in Chicago. Is Chicago going to use the return pass? He decides to go high. And that is defended well by Torment. Version1 playing, I think, the most consistently that we've ever seen them play this season. And they need to keep it up. These reads are phenomenal. They've just shut down another dangerous infield passing play from G2.
Yeah, the backboard double taps from JNaps have all been read. The infield passing plays have all been cleared. This is going to get so frustrating for G2 because you start to wonder, well, what is actually going to work? This gimmick ends up just being cleared off the ball. Pass over to JNaps. They look for it back. Chicago's going to take his time. The mind game. Oh, I suppose that one still needed ticking off the list.
Wow, what a touch by AXB again. His catches on the back wall have been outstanding in this game. It's so easy to accidentally drop these shots down. Now, that's a shot for Chicago. It's surely an open shot. No, actually, close. AXB's just got a runaway goal. Rizzo didn't go for it, but he positioned as if he was going to, and that's left nobody back for G2.
I legitimately think his car stalled. That's the only possible reason I can consider as to why he is that far up without trying to make a move on the ball.
Rizzo's the imposter. He has to be.
I was going to start getting so many names for this one role, isn't there?
Well, it's a shame to see G2 concede like that because they have, in this past week, really improved their defense so much. And they haven't given away cheap goals like that one. Are they going to get the return? Yes, they are. JNaps gives them a lifeline. Excellent placement by him. And now G2 have to focus up. They cannot afford to give away cheap goals like that by mispositioning with their third man. That's what they were doing at the start of the season when they were struggling, and it's not what we're expecting from them now, especially while they were on the upswing, fresh off a grid win.
Certainly not. In comes JNaps. Wants the backboard. It's well read this time by XB, who really did not have a chance in the last shot. In comes Rizzo. He's been caught almost again. Gimmick's going to turn around. JNaps is all by himself. He needs Chicago to help, but Chicago very much has not helped, as Rizzo is going to come through and clean up the mess that he originally made. Now off the backboard. Oh, that is a horrific bounce. If you're a G2 fan, that's a great block from AXB. No, Johnny, you're not a massive fan of the Dominus, but it does work very well as a paddle. Oh, here's Rizzo. Oh, AXB is not going to let it happen just yet. We go to overtime.
As much as I'd love to roast the Dominus there, Shogun, Rizzo was about to shoot, so I was on the edge of my seat. But it's overtime. No goals for G2 to settle that one in regulation. And a monster dunk by Gimmick after a quick recovery has G2 on the back foot already. It looks like, for now, G2 are going to be paying attention to their positioning. They're going to be taking utmost care in defense, which is good to see. If V1 are going to win this, I'd rather see them win it with a great goal, with a brilliant outplay. Hold on a second. Rizzo's shot, but it's actually just a great pass to the back wall.
I think Rizzo just saw a ball boy that he didn't like and just tried to fling the ball at him.
You better be careful.
It down. Here we go. Rizzo, flip reset. He's got it. Tries to get off the backboard, but every single time G2 have gone for the backboard. Just never really an option. V1 always around. Rizzo not going to have a chance to take that shot. Ball was too far away from him. Instead, he's going to try and look to set. Not tricky enough, however.
Still waiting for the Rizzo goal. We're still waiting to see if G2 are going to send us into Game 5 here. Version1 continue to look impressive in this matchup. That's a double commit, though. Chance for JNaps. He shoots to the top right. Gimmick's got it covered.
V1 trying desperately to stay around, but Rizzo tried to be a bit tricky. Didn't realize that there wasn't a teammate there for him. Now moves in. Places the corner over to Chicago. Second touch. Can't quite do it, but that is how tricky they're going to have to be if they want to try and break down what has been a stout defense so far. Just nothing has been able to crack through the wall. To the other side, Rizzo. Watch as Chicago does actually take out a few extra players, and now Torment's by himself in a bad spot. 2 players required to move in. Chicago, off the touch from Rizzo, cannot now move in. 2 minutes of overtime played. And that is going to be cleared straight over to JNaps. G2 doing a great job so far of maintaining the pressure, but is it gonna matter?
Oh!
Maybe if Torment has something to say about it. JNaps can't take over, Chicago instead. Just like that, they almost lost it. Rizzo, right down the middle.
So close for both teams, but really V1 were the team who had the better opportunity there. There was no save anywhere close for G2. They were just hoping the crossbar would be on their team for this match, and it was. Version1 could have very easily taken it right there.
Now bounces into the midfield. It's a shot, but it's a double commit required for the save. What are they gonna have to do to break down Version1's defense one more time? And Version1, their entire strategy so far has just been, well, please can we just get rid of this ball? They have been trapped so far. JNaps can't beat Torment. There's another booming clear. Chicago keeps the pressure on.
You know, after picking up 1 goal already this game with the G2 mispositioning their 3rd man, I think Version1 are quite happy to just wait. They're playing the patient game right now. You know, they're inviting G2 pressure, but as long as they can hang on against it, they're going to be just fine. That's off the bar again. It's wide open for Torment. What a save by Rizzo, flying off the other side of his own crossbar. But here comes V1 again. Back post blocked from G2. Denies V1 from both angles. That was yet again, though, so close for them as they look to take the series in 4.
Well, you can definitely not doubt the strategy right now. They are getting opportunities on the break. Some they've had to work for, some that they haven't. Now bounces back to the midfield. Here comes Chicago to send up in game 5.
What?
And he can't do it. Shada right into the path of Torment. And Rizzo can't get past the brick wall of Gimmick. I have no idea how we have got game 4 still in effect, Johnny. But we do.
Oh, that was just absolute comedy from G2 trying to score from a position that should be quite easy to convert from, but it ended up being incredibly awkward. And they have to wait even longer. Rizzo denies AXB's rebound at the near post. But where on earth is this goal going to come from? The crossbar has been coming to the rescue of G2 at one end. Now Chicago's got an opportunity. That's saved. Version1 are just stopping everything. It's a shot for JNaps. That's denied by AXB as well. The saves, they just will not stop from Version1.
I asked earlier on, Johnny, what is it going to take to break down Version1's defense? At this point, you can't convince me it's not a trick question.
They need a bigger goal. Somebody needs to bring the sledgehammer, knock down the post a couple of more meters.
Your goal over here. That one's lovely and big enough. Here comes JNaps to try and win it. That shot's not on target. Chicago will keep it going. Off the dooms.
Oh!
2-1. And we have got the perfect round number 2. Every single series has gone to Champions Field.
Wow, what a game. G2 do clutch it. But they had to work so hard for this one. The posts were playing for Version1, the crossbar was playing for G2, and when the uprights are making this a 4v4, it's a much harder game to get goals in. But G2 have done it. Now we're still waiting on Rizzo's goal of the day. He saved it for game 5. That seems like a good idea. He's saving it for the last game, and we saw how important it was in the KCP Space Station matchup to save the best to last. So, oh boy, I cannot wait for Rizzo's game 5 goal. He's probably throwing it in the on an overtime, I imagine, based on what we're seeing so far.
This would be... I mean, I wouldn't like that we sort of spoiled the script so early if it is Rizzo that gets the game-winning goal here. But it would still be pretty good. My face
I'll take it.
So red. I've got the rosiest cheek in the world right now. Oh dear, and it is definitely the time to do it, because lads, Version1 are looking to add to the upset record. G2, however, managed to force their way into that game 5.
Just unbelievable. I mean, it's a win-win situation for everybody watching. All the neutral fans are just hoping that we'll continue to see brilliant games from these two teams. That's actually off the post and in on Gimmick's rebound. Now, not sure if JNAPS left that or if he couldn't reach it. Looks like it was just a bit too far away from him because we had an AXB running across the goal line and forcing JNAPS out of position.
Look, we talk about a whole bunch of unwritten rules in Rocket League. The main one that I always notice is that whenever you get a 5-minute long overtime, the next goal in the next game always comes within the first 30 seconds.
True.
So that one, not a surprise to anybody.
Yeah, more often than not, just the first 5 seconds, just a kickoff goal after a super long OT. All that tension has been released, and now the teams are playing a bit more loose, perhaps. You know, just on Rizzo POV right now, I'm waiting to see when he's going to sneak into position. He's actually deep in the version 1 half right now, demoing AXB for no reason. Maybe it will amount to something for G2.
He's just got to go for the tap-in. 6 yards, 1 yard, who cares? As long as he gets the hit. In comes JNAPS. Can't quite win the race to the ball, which is a sentence that's been said an awful lot about the V1 defense. Been so in sync with one another so far. Gimmick off the backboard. It's going to become a race for the ball, and JNAPS, well, he won the race uncontested. It's not something that V1 have to commit to right now. It's G2. I've got to try and figure something out. Gimmick with the follow. He doesn't get the reset, but I've been close enough just to try and ward off some of the G2 players for a bit longer as Torment floats over the top. And that ball is going to be undangerous for G2.
Yeah, speaking of, you know, lack of danger, it really doesn't feel like V1 are in any danger this game. G2 have gotten a bit quiet, but that's the best shot they've had in a while. Now in comes Rizzo. Oh, it wasn't a nice enough shot. Once again, Rizzo he's teasing us.
How?
He refuses to score until it's overtime game 5.
How desperate are you here? You just commentated Curse just so Rizzo can get the shot. And even then it didn't work for you. I want an investigation into Johnny Boy for using our sacred powers for wrong reasons. Infield pass. Rizzo looks to hook around, instead waits for the chance. Torment he's just waiting for it. Realized he had all the time, and it's somehow skirted past Chicago. It's time that they don't want to be wasting. Especially not on such low boost. Rizzo, back to JNAPS. Wants to get this to Chicago. He's managed to find him, but every single time, for every 3 touches that G2 have been taking, V1 just wait for their singular chance, and they keep getting there just in time to cut down the play.
Well, that's more than half a chance for Rizzo, but well recovered by AXB. Now Chicago snatches at it and doesn't get a lot of power. Less than 2 minutes remaining. V1 have got, honestly, the messiest looking clean sheet I've ever seen. They have been so close several times. We've had almost nice shot Rizzo, and now it is going to be nice shot JNAPS for 1-1. G2 break the ice.
Well, you did say it was messy, and you can kind of see, well, there's a sea of blue cars over on that left-hand side. Far too many of them. And G2 able to get us back to 1 each. What a start to our day. It's been honestly phenomenal. XB wants to keep on with his really solid showing. Torment moves in. Chicago with the chase. He's actually got a very good challenge. Gimmick's gonna have to move in. Back to the midfield. Rizzo got the challenge. And suddenly, G2 coming out on top of a lot more of these. Getting much more territory. Rizzo not with any booster. He's not going to be able to do too much, but Torment has misplayed it a little bit. Forced to recover enough to get the block.
It's a good save by Torment. Oh, what a pass by Rizzo. Once again, he finds JNAPS right in front of the blue goal. And now G2 lead. And to make matters worse for V1, they've still got Rizzo's goal coming later. We don't know when, but you know it's coming.
It is a 2-1 visually, but a 3-1 in everyone's hearts. Torment now moves in. Version 1, I said earlier on that they can come out of this very proud of the way they played, but once you get to this stage, it will still hurt if you end up losing it. Torment over the top. Gimmick wants to hunt down for JNAPS, but he couldn't get there. And then removes Torment. XB couldn't spot the ball through the smoke screen. Drops down. Chicago with the infield pass for JNAPS. 40 seconds for V1 to figure this out to get that goal that can maybe send us into overtime.
Yeah, it's not looking likely, Shogun. They're really struggling to get out of their half right now. This is just the perfect G2 playstyle. They're back at it again. And there've been no defensive mistakes. There's been no mispositioned third man to give a goal away to their opponents. Rizzo on a rampage. Will he find JNAPS in the middle again? Not this time. JNAPS waiting behind him, but G2 have got all the advantages in the world.
Rizzo just went around annihilating everyone that he could. If V1 aren't going to send us to overtime, they've got to go coast to coast. XB, tasked with keeping it up, but it is dropped down. G2 Esports have managed to hold off a rampant V1. They have moved to 2-0.
What a series. It was, you know, really the perfect series for this stage of the tournament. We get a glimpse of what G2 might be capable of at this time. We also get a confirmation that, yeah, I think they are back to their you know, older, consistent selves. We're not seeing anywhere near as many free goals given away in defense. There was that one in game 4, I think it was, but apart from that, everything else is pretty good over there. And you know, turned out it was all just debate. Rizzo saved his goal for another series. He's gonna bring it out maybe in the 3rd series of the day to help them go 3-0, as they do already have the 2 series wins in the bag, unlike Space Station. So that's huge for G2.
Yeah, and as well, because it now means that they will get that better seeding if they can now move in 3-0 from here. They will join Kansas City Pioneers, the Peeps, and Zookeepers on that 2-0 record. And we're going to find out very soon which of those teams is going to go 3-0 in just a moment.